Hi, hello everyone, and thank you very much for being here with us today for the European Film Factory webinar. So thank you very much for all for being here. I am Adeline Chauveau, one of the two European Film Factory project managers. First, I'll make a brief presentation of the project, and then I will give the floor to my colleagues, Louise Andrieux from Arte Éducation and Lucie Guerra from the Institut Français, who is also the European Film Factory project manager. So European Film Factory is a European film education project we launched in September 2020, 1 year ago. It is funded by the media strand of the Creative Europe program from the European Union, and the project is born from a collaboration between the Institut Français and our two partners that are at the forefront of innovation in schools, Arte Education and European Schoolnet. So our ambition is to raise awareness on the importance of film education for teachers, educational leaders, and institutions. At the Institut Français, we are utterly convinced that the renewal of cinema audiences, the viability of the film industry firmly relies on the accessibility of European films and the way to show it to our younger generations. So European Film Factory is an opportunity to connect students from 11 to 18 years old and teachers from all over Europe to nurture European values and also to alert on contemporary issues. So the European Film Factory is an online platform that can easily be used in all school settings across Europe, and so also in cultural extracurricular activities. So the EFF platform is available in all the Creative Europe media countries. This film education platform is available in 8 languages, and it aims to strengthen the link between teachers and students and around films that show other horizons that echo the daily lives of students and that connects them with a common history. So the European Film Factory offers to primary and secondary school teachers and students a free and secure access to a catalogue of 12 European feature films that were milestones in the history of European cinema, and as well as 2 programs of short films from the new generation of film directors. So the European Film Factory platform is not just a platform where students and teachers can watch films, as every film is accompanied by an educational kit that were developed by European teachers under the supervision of film education experts. So EFF also displays interactive tools, as an extract creation tool, and as well as Mindmaps that allow collaborative work between teachers and students. But so now I will give the floor to my colleague Louise Andrieux, who will explain those tools in detail. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Adeline. And I'm very delighted to be here today to talk about European Film Factory. So as Adeline said just earlier, I'm Louise Andrieux, working for Arte Education, which is one of the partners of the European Film Factory project. Maybe I will call the European Film Factory EFF, if you don't mind, because it's actually easier to say when you have to say it many times in the presentation. So what did we do in this project? We created the platform as a technical partner, and we imagined the EFF website and its functionalities based on our experience in similar resources, educational resources. The added value, as Adeline said, is really that we added tools in order to personalize the contents and to develop skills further than only like cinema literacy. So in this small demonstration session, we'll discover together the possibilities of the EFF platform, what can we do with it, and how to use it with your students. So we'll see that there are many different possibilities. So I will now share my screen with you to do so. And of course, I will be absolutely interested to hear all about your questions, and we can talk about it.
Louise, on t'entend plus. Il n'y a pas le son.
Sorry, it's about the sharing content. Just make it a second time. Can you actually see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. I'm not sure you see the right screen. I'm sorry. Just a sec. I'm really sorry. I just have a small connection issue, actually, which can happen in this kind of online events. So please just be patient. Okay, now it's solved. Sorry about it. Just like my internet browser didn't work for a sec, and now it's on. And let's go. Now you can see my screen, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry about these technical issues. So let's discover the platform. So it's a platform that you can access going on europeanfilmfactory.eu. Here you can change right away the language and choose about your preferences in 8 languages. So I will put it right now in English. So the first time you connect, you need to click on the free registration, and you can create your teacher account here by clicking on sign up. Just need to enter your email address basically and some details, and then your account will be created. And you need to choose basically a username and a password. It's very easy, nothing complicated at all. So once you've set up your username and password, you click on login here on the right up side of the page, and you actually log in with your ID and password. And here we are, you are on the teacher view. It's very important to know that there are 2 views on the European Film Factory platform. One is for teachers and the other one is for students. And this will really allow you to make your students work from home, for example. You will be able to send them some videos on their account. So on the home page, when you scroll down, you have, yes, some information about the platform. And here you have all the movies available. So basically the films, animation, documentary, and short films. When you click on the content, on a poster, you will right away have the possibility to watch it online or to download it. So it's very important to notice that you can download all the contents if you have some internet connection issues in your schools. You can see here the trailer of the movie. You have a synopsis, a short description, and some very useful information that you can use in your class. For example, the data sheet that will really give you all the technical information. You have the awards that the film won, the educational kit, and the media kit. So I think my colleagues will go further after my presentation to really go more into the details about the educational kits. So I won't be very long, but just so you can see them, you can actually download them. And there are many classroom activities in the kits. In the media kit, you will find some photos and posters of the film, which can also be very useful to implement some activities with your students. So the students now, they will access all the movies without any action. The thing that you need to do is to go here on your profile. On the right side, you have your profile, you know, here with many different sections. And you need to click on My Classes. And here you will create a new class. You will give a name to this class, for example, group C. Click on Confirm. And here you will have a new group on your account. You see here you have a class code. This class code will be given to your students to allow them to create their account. So it's very easy. I will show you. You give this class code, and then you ask the students to go to European Film Factory platform to click on create an account, free registration. This time they will click on a student and not a teacher, and they will enter the code here. Once they've done that, they will be able to create their own account. So giving their surname, first name, etc. And they will be able to set up a username and password. So don't hesitate to ask any questions if you have some doubts about how the students can access the contents. It's very important. Once they've done that, all the students will have their personal account. So it's really one person, one account. I will just go back on the teacher's view. And so, as I said, the students will have really access to all the films on the same page as you. On the film, you can also create some contents. So what can you create based on a film? You can create either a personalized extract or a mind map. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Mindmaps tools or not. There are many other mind maps tools online that you can find. Just a reminder, to create either an extract or a mind map, you need to go on the film of your choice, here Goodbye Lenin, and click on Create. So I will show you how to create an extract, and then we'll go on with the mind maps very briefly because we don't have so much time today. Here you have a tool that is actually very easy to use. You have 4 steps you need to follow to finalize your content, and then it will be registered on your account. So the first step, as you see, is creating the extract. So how do you do that? You just push here the buttons, or you set up the time codes, so the start of your extract and the end of your extract. And then you can do a preview. If you're satisfied with the preview, you click on Continue, and then you have a second step that will actually allow you to personalize your video. So that's what we talked about earlier. You can actually personalize your video by adding some text, some images, or some sound. So this will allow you to adapt the video to, for example, your students' language levels, or to, for example, ask questions to your students on the video. So how to do so? I will also not really like go on into details, also because you have on the website a very interesting tutorials, but I will show you a brief overview. So for example, here, if I want to ask a question to the students, I can click on text and I can add a question right on the video. So you see, it's like a basic text application that you can use, and you can here click on saving, and you can here manage all the settings of your annotation. So I click on save, and I will see just down here the annotation that is actually displayed with this pictogram. So if I make a preview,
Leeres Glas wird's auch tun.
you see the questions appearing on the screen. So it's very short, and you can actually manage the time during which the question will appear on the screen. You can choose this time. If you're satisfied with your extract, you click on continue. And here you can describe it. We are at the step number 3. You will give it a title. You will give it a description. You can mention the subjects and the age of your students and the themes. Why to do so? Because other teachers from all over Europe are using European Film Factory already, and it can be very interesting for them to access also your extract. And here you have created an extract, and you can just choose if you want to set it public or private. If you set it public, all teachers registered can see it. And on the second step, you can share it with your group directly, and your students will receive it on their account. I will show you where in a sec. I post my extract, and I will find it on my account here in my extract. You will see here I have these sections with my extract, my mind maps, and I can really have all my tools to work with my students. About the students, they will also find what you sent to them in their my extract shared with me. So they will have exactly the same view, and they will go on the shared with me, and they will see the extract that you sent to them. We will go on with mind maps now. So here we'll take the same content. If you want to create a mind map about Goodbye Lenin, you can click on create, and this time a mind map. What is a mind map? It's the possibility to relate items on a map and to structure your ideas and to really make visual connections between elements. So I advise you to work with the full screen mode. And here you see, for example, you have a first item, which is the movie Goodbye Lenin. If you want to add information about, for example, the director, about the music, about the production, you can add notes. Here on the right side of the screen up, you click on adding a note, and you will add a note on the page. And here you can give a title to this note. For example, the director of the movie. And here, if you want, you can add a link to an internet article about the director of the movie. You can add also a description, and you can change like the color, etc. about the note. Many different elements that you can personalize. Also, you can choose a file, an image on your computer, and you can, for example, put a picture of the director. You can add other notes. For example, we said about the music. And again, if you have an interesting article about the music in this movie, you can put it here, and the pupils, the students, will go directly to this article by clicking on this item. You see, have really here, you have different options that will allow you to link elements one with another. And the last thing that I want to tell you is, if you made extract in a movie, for example, I did an extract which is called test. You can look on the platform EFF here by using this browser, and you click on EFF to look into EFF what you can put in your mind map. For example, this extract that I made in Goodbye Lenin, I want to put it here, and so I click and I post it on my mind map. So you see, you can add various things. You can really add movies, like full movies. You can add extracts. You can add other resources from the internet. The goal really is to create links between elements, and that will help actually students to think a bit differently and with a very visual aspect. So when you're done, you need to quit the full screen and you need to continue. So I will skip this step because it's very, very similar to what we just did with the extract. So it's the same steps. You describe your mind maps and you finalize it by deciding with whom you want to share it and post it. I think we're actually almost done with the main functionalities of this platform. You can really find all your work, including your drafts. That's very important. You see, here it's the draft I did today on your personal sections here. And it's the same for the students. They have their own personal sections here. So if you want to share the mind maps with your students, you need to go to your mind map. For example, this mind map about the historical context of Billy Elliot. And you need to click here on the button share, and you can share it to your class. I think I will maybe stop here to actually answer to all your questions. Lucy and Adeline, I don't know if you actually want to take the questions now, or should you just go on and we take all the questions a bit later?
Hello, I think we can take the question at the end. Okay. We'll have time to answer all the questions. So thank you very much, Louise. I will take over from here, and I will share my screen. So I hope you can all see the PowerPoint back. So my name is Lucie Guerra. I'm one of the European Film Factory manager at the Institut Français. And now that you've seen a bit how the platform works, I will show you the educational resources and activities that have been developed with European Film Factory. So first, about the educational kits that have been created. Our approach was really to create a comprehensive tool for every teacher, beginner or more advanced in film education. And so all over Europe with ready to use and easy to use resources to bring European cinema in their class and to implement film education activities, regardless the subject they teach. So we created materials for and by teachers. That was really our strategy. So all the educational kits that are on the platform were created by a focus group of 16 European teachers from different countries, from teaching different subjects to different levels, and with advanced or beginner background in film education. And they were supervised by our partner European Schoolnet and the Film Education Association, Abaraku. And so the educational kit was based on the same model, and it's inspired by the research made by another European project, which is framework from film education. So we divided the educational kit into 3 parts that I will present: general information, film analysis, and classroom activities. These kits are conceived as the basis for the teacher to apprehend the film and to build his or her lesson plan. And they are, of course, available in all the 8 languages of the platform. So you will find the educational kit on the film page that Louise showed you under the educational section. And as you see on the slide, there is one button to download the kit in PDF. And you can also download the media kit with the picture and the poster of the film. So the first section on the educational kit is the general information that really gives you the ID card of the film, from the technical info to the director biography and to the synopsis. So you have all the information needed to study the film. The second part, which is the core of the kit, is the film analysis. The idea is really to give teachers key elements, key themes, vocabulary, and concepts about the film and how it is related to the history of cinema. So this section is divided into 5 parts. The first one is the film context, which places the film into the history of cinema. For example, on my slide, I showed the Romanian film of the catalogue, which is 1208 east of Bucharest. And in the film context section on the kit, it explains that this film is part of what is called the Romanian New Wave, which is a cinematographic movement at the beginning of the 2000s, and which gained international recognition. So the second part is the historical context, to give you key elements to understand the film from a historical perspective. And still speaking about the Romanian film 1208 east of Bucharest, in that section you have information about the Romanian Revolution in 1989 and the context of the film, which takes place 16 years later after the revolution. The third part is the expressive means 1, which give film analysis elements, meaning that it's the principal element of analysis and interpretation of the film from a film education perspective. It draws attention to teachers on visual element construction that they may not be familiar with, in order to enable them to address them with their students. So still speaking about the Romanian film, in this section, this part addresses the composition of the frames, the static use of the camera, the circular structure of the film, and the intention behind these choices made by the film director. The fourth part is the collective memory. It's not present in every kit, but the idea is to give elements of collective memory that appeared in the film, such as tradition, costume, food, language, etc. And the last part is recognition. So it's really to show how the film was critically perceived at the time of its release and nowadays. So it gives you all the important information regarding the recognition of the film. So the third part of the educational kits, it's activities. The idea was really to offer step-by-step activities that focus on what on film education experience through 3 key dimensions that have been identified by the Framework for Film Education, the European project I mentioned before, and which these 3 dimensions are critical, cultural, and creative. So the activities that have been created by our focus group of teachers addresses these 3 angles. And so every kit offers between 4 and 7, 8 activities, and that show how film education can be used in a large variety of settings. And so this activity have really been presented as to be easy to use. And so the template is the same for everyone, and it gives information related to the age group, for example. So you can see on the slides, whether it addresses more students between 11 to 14 years old, or 15 to 18, or both. The level of difficulty of the activity, the number of students it addresses, if it's an individual or a group activity, the tool that can be used during these activities, meaning both platform tools such as the excerpt cutting tool or the Mindmaps tool Louise talked about, or some external tools that are relevant for the activity, the duration of the activity, the subject to which the activity can be linked, and the learning area giving the educational outcome of the activity. I will now show you briefly some activities that to show you how diverse they are. The first one you can see on the slide is from the Bill Elliott kit. So this activity explores the construction of characters in the film, as well as the gender representation and stereotypes that the film challenges. So the idea is that after watching the film, the students are first invited to work on the characters based on some specific extracts that are listed on the activity. And they are invited to make a mind map to reflect on each character. They are then asked to reflect on how every character is depicted in relationship with Bill Elliott, the main character of the film. And finally, the teacher can broaden the discussion on how characters are depicted in the film in terms of gender and how the film challenges stereotypes. So then to show you other example of activity, the first one on the slide is from the film Europa Europa by Agnieszka Holland. So it's the Polish and German film of the catalogue, which tells the story of a young Jew throughout the Second World War and across Europe. And this activity that I selected focuses on a recurrent visual and narrative pattern in the film, which is the presence of water. So the activity enables to study how a film pictures symbols and repetition, and it offers the possibility to students to critically analyze the film and learn to reflect on images through the symbol it may convey. The second activity you can see on the slide is from the Romanian film 1208 East of Bucharest. And actually half of the film takes place during a TV talk show in which the director keeps playing with the camera of the talk show and his own camera as a film director. And this activity offers to analyze this very rich scene in terms of camera movements, but in a creative way, because the students are invited to reenact, to recreate a talk show from the storyboard to filming it. And I wanted also to draw attention to you on the 2 short film programs that we have on the platform. So we have one short film program, which is called Young Europeans Take to the Screen, which gathers 7 short films whose for every short film, the main protagonist is a young European, and the program enables to address the topic of diversity, different topics around diversity. And the second short film program that we have is called Short Films Go Green, and it addresses the issues of environment and ecology through fiction, documentary, and animation short films. And the activity you can see on the slide is from so this short film program. And the one I selected is addresses the question of like how animation can be related also to environmental topic, and how it addresses the topic of environment through the study of several animation short film, which uses different types of animation techniques. And you also can see on the slides an extract of the questionnaire template that is available in the educational kit for this activity that you can print out and give and work on that with your students after they watch the short films. So then moving to the activity we organized around European Film Factory, we did some, since the launch of the project, we did some webinars in all the languages of the project, so the 8 languages, and they were hosted by the teachers who created the educational kit. And during the webinar, they show how they implemented the activity in their class. All the webinars are available on the platform on each film page, and they are also available on our YouTube channel. So do not hesitate to go and watch them, and you will find a lot of inspiration from this, from the teacher of our focus group. We also organize events, so masterclasses that bring together different classes in Europe that have the opportunity to meet a filmmaker from our catalogue, and the students ask directly questions to him or her. So the first one we organized was by masterclass by Polish director Agnieszka Holland on her film Europa, Europa. And then we organized one with Tom Moore, the Irish animation director from The Secret of Kells. And you can see on the slides, it's some creative works made by the students that they shared during the masterclass with Tom. And so it's always a very in-depth moment with a lot of insight on European cinema. And as you can also find the masterclasses on the platform and on our YouTube channel. And the next one that we will organize will be in December, on the 10th of December at 10 a.m. And it will be about the Spanish documentary and Tierra Extraña that we have in our catalogue. And the documentary deals about the Spanish migration after the economic crisis in 2008. And the event will be a discussion between the main protagonist of the film, Gloria Egea Cañabate, who is a Spanish teacher that migrated to Edinburgh after the crisis. And the discussion will also take place with the cinematographer of the film, Łukasz Gasiorowski, who is from Poland and lives in Edinburgh. The event will be online with simultaneous translation in Spanish and English. And we will select 4 classes that will directly ask questions to Gloria and Łukasz. And all the other classes interested in the event can attend as spectators. So if you are interested by the event, you can register via the registration link we will be posting in the chat. And you will also receive a newsletter if you are registered to our newsletter with all the info about this masterclass. So this is all I wanted to share with you. So thank you so much for your attention. And now we will answer all the questions you asked.
So thank you very much. I tried to answer questions in the chat, but I may give you, like Lucy and Louise, the main questions that were asked. Louise, there was a question about the mind map. Maybe if you could explain it again, how to use it, because it might be a bit difficult sometimes to use it. Thank you.
Sure. Also, what I forgot to show you is where to find the video tutorials. So it's very important. I just wanted to get back on that point. So I will actually share again my screen if it's possible. May I, Lucy?
Yes, yes. I stopped.
Okay.
I think I stopped sharing, so you can share now. But your sound is off again.
I'm really sorry. It's I need to tick a small box, and okay, now it's okay.
Yes.
Okay, so when you are on the main homepage, you've logged into your account. You scroll down, you have the film selection, and then down again you have a section where you will find all the video tutorials. So you have one tutorial about the first steps on the platform, one about downloading the movies, one about the mind maps, and one about the extract creation tool. So, and don't hesitate also to communicate these tutorials to your students. Actually, I insist on that point. It's very easy to share with them these tutorials, and that can actually allow you to make them use the tools for doing a home activity, for example. So do you have actually a precise question about the mind maps, Adeline? For me, or
maybe it was more about how to create one and what might be the educational interest of creating one.
Okay, so just about the educational interest, we can have a look at the movie Billy Elliot, for example. And you will see here, if I click on Billy Elliot, when you're on a movie, you will have the possibility, when you scroll down also, to see what has been created by the teacher about this movie. So here you have the mind maps that has been created. Sorry, I'm in the French, automatically directed to the French page. Now it's switched in English, and just a quick reminder that you can choose the languages here. So here, when you scroll down the movie page, you can see mind maps that are already available. So this one might give you a glimpse of what is the interest of doing a mind map. For example, here you have a mind map about the historical context Billy Elliot has been made. So it's really different use that can be made with mind maps. You can give context, so more information. It can be used to gather resources, articles, pictures, information that will all be gathered on the same page. But you can also ask your students, for example, to make the ID card of a movie. So the students will create themselves the mind map, and they will have to complete informations. So that's another use. You can also use mind maps to make them learn about something. If they have, for example, an exam or a work to do, you can gather resources about concepts in film literacy or stuff like that on a mind map. And to create a mind map, you have to be on a movie. So you have to be on the movie page. For example, you choose any movie. We choose this one, and you click on the create button. And here you have the possibility either to create an extract or a mind map. So both of the tools are integrated to the website. And these mind map tools open automatically when you click on creating a mind map. And here you need to go through the 3 steps to finalize the mind map. You can add nodes. We call them nodes, but it's basically items. And these items can be either movies, extracts, or other resources from the internet. So any link that you can find on the internet. And to add new items, either you click on the right side here on add node, and then you can personalize the node. So and personalize the content. So put here the website address, or you can search into the EFF platform on the left up side of the screen, and you can find some extract that you've been doing or some other movies. So here you can just click on EFF and find some resources. Is it clear enough?
Thank you, Louise. We will see in the chat maybe if there are other questions regarding the mind maps, but there were also a couple of questions, maybe more for you, Lucy. It was about the films and the age limit for the students. So, like with the film commissions, how we selected the age limit.
Yeah. So the film on the platform has been selected by a jury of professionals from film education based on a list of a preselection list of heritage films, meaning that film that goes we decided between 1950 till 2010, because a heritage film is a film with 10 years of age. And so this film has been selected in terms of their interest for film education. And then we pay attention, so the European Film Factory team, on the classification for each film, which depends, of course, of every country. So on the platform are listed, when you connect on the platform from your account, you will see on every film page the age classification. So what age it is recommended for students to watch it. And this age changes from where you are connected. If you are connected from France, for example, the age will be different than if you are connected from, I don't know, Spain, because the film in Spain may not have the same classification, film classification than in France. And so the students, when they register on the platform, they give their age. And so they only have access to the film that are available to their own age. So also changing from a country to another. That's it was important for us also to really give the national classification for every film.
Thank you, Lucy. And there was another question regarding the subtitles and if the films were dubbed or not on the platform.
So the films are available on the original language, and there are subtitles in the 8 languages of the platform. So every film is, it's important for us to show the film, it's the language it was created, but you can watch it with your student with subtitles in one of the 8 languages.
Thank you, Lucy. And so another question for you, Louise, regarding the mind map. So can the students edit the teacher mind map once they have shared it with their class?
Yes, indeed. The students can edit the mind maps. So I didn't go into too much details because of the time, but I can show you briefly if needed. So I will show you how to do so. So on your mind map, if you're a teacher, you create a mind map. And then at the last step, So the third step, sharing and posting, you have some options that you can choose. So first one is visibility to other teachers. So what do you want to authorize? Who do you want to authorize to use this mind map, public or only me? And the second step is share it with your students, and you see that you can actually allow students to duplicate, which will make them able to modify your mind map. So if I do so, I will now show you the student's account and show you how the student actually can modify the mind map that has been sent by the teacher. So here I'm on the Lena account. Lena is a 16 years old lady from France. She can find here in my mind maps the mind maps shared with her by the teacher. So this is the mind map that I just shared with Lena. And Lena can actually click on modify the mind map. So now she can add some items. She can work from home or in the school. She can continue when she's done with the editing, and she can give another name to the mind map, test Lena. She continues, and then she can share her work either with nobody, or with her class, or with her teacher, and she needs to find her teacher's name in the browser. So here I can find the teacher's name, Louise Andrieux, and she can save it and send it to the teacher. So I hope it's clear enough. And then the teacher will find Lena's work in the section My Mind Maps shared with me.
Thank you, Louise. And I see that we have three hands raised. So I will give now the person the permission to talk, and we still have 8 minutes. So please, if we can keep the questions short. Thank you very much. It's for Eri. I don't know if you can hear us, and you can talk and ask your questions. Eri, can you hear us? All right, I will go with the next teacher here. Hi, Stephanie. I think now you can ask your question if you want. Okay. And so the last teacher who wanted to ask a question. Hi, Candida, if you have any questions. Okay, so I see Stephanie doesn't have a question, and then we have a new one in the chat. Can we use the films to show them to the public? Lucy, maybe if you want to answer the question.
So for all the films of the catalogue, we negotiate the rights to organize educative screening for a young audience, meaning students between 11 to 18. So you can organize a screening in your school, or you can also organize a screening of one of a film with, I don't know, if your school has a partnership with a local cinema, you can organize also a screening in the cinema. Our condition is that the screening must be for a young audience in a school environment, or for really only young people in the audience. When I mentioned the cinema, I also want to let you know that the films are available on the platform to be screened from the platform, but we also created some physical copies for the film. We created Blu-rays and DCPs, DCPs are the very high, the file we use in cinema. So if you have a partnership with a local cinema or film festival or a film association, they can contact us and we can organize a screening of one of a film in a real cinema with cinema quality materials.
Thank you, Lucy. And there was another question. Can more teachers be involved in the EFF to create courses? Any plans to target younger students in primary schools?
So in the next year, we will add new films on the platform. And for this new film, we will need, of course, to create new educational kit and new resources. And at that moment, we will launch a call for teachers that are interested to be part of our projects. And they can answer this call and we will select a number of teachers to be in our focus group of teachers. It should be in April, next April, this call for teachers. And I think it was, I don't know if I missed one part of the question or if I answer all.
Any plans to target younger students in primary schools?
Yeah, so right now and the project targets secondary school. Our will is to continue on this target, to expand the catalog for this target. And then, so we are not in the near future targeting directly primary school because it's a complete different catalog of film and also educational resources. And we want to improve what we are doing for the secondary school right now.
Thank you. And so we have a question from Paulina. Once registered, is it possible to change the age of the target class we intend to work with?
So once you have registered you can edit your profile on the platform. Because if I understand right your question, when you register on the platform, you are asked to say what age are your students, and you have to click on this and choose which age are your students. This information it can be changed from the profile, but it's really only indicative information. It doesn't depending on which age you select when you register, it has no impact on the films that are accessible to you as you are a teacher. It's really an indication which is important also for us to know what teacher register.
And maybe if I may add, so once you created a class code, your students will have to register and to put their own date of birth. So actually, it's depending on the age of the students that will allow he or her to see the films. So you can have several classes. And then if you have a 11-year-old class, for example, they will see only some of the films. And if you have a 18-year-old class, they will see all the films. And so there was another question for Louise. So I didn't get if my students can work on the mind map I have shared with them in a collaborative way. Plus, if they change or rework it, do they actually change the mind map or do they create a copy with their personal addings?
Yes, so to answer that question, the mind maps are not collaborative. So it means that the students cannot work on the same time on the mind map. And they actually do not change the original mind map. It only creates a copy. So I hope it answers the question of Louisa.
Well, thank you. I think we've answered to all the questions from all the teachers. I hope we haven't forgotten any. Thank you very much to everyone, and it's now coming to an end. So thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Louise. And thank you to all of you that have attended this webinar. So as we wrote in the chat, it will be available both on the EFF platform and on our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you, Adeline and Lucy.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you.